Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Little Dunn's River closed following gang activities including murder. Jamaica cops Caribbean's leading tourist destination award at World Travel Awards. And later in sports, Shelly and Fraser Price set for a 100-meter clash with Shericka Jackson and American Shakari Richardson at Diamond League meet on Friday. I'm Kelisha Williams, and here are the details. An urban development corporation property being run by a criminal gang. That's what the police said is happening at the popular attraction known as Little Dunn's River in St. Ann. The facility has been ordered closed after a man was killed in the area on Saturday. A beautiful gem marred by murder. This is a tributary of the Dunn's River in St. Ann, popularly called Little Dunn's River. But now these yellow tapes are telltale signs that it will be a while before visitors will be able to access the property.
Well, it's kind of sad because many people depend on this place because this water is very nice and healthy for most people from all over the world and Jamaican. It's a healing water. So it's so sad to see it close down because of these brutal young people that's killing people all over the place for no reason. Innocent one, you know, parents been crying all the time for their loved one. So I wish they could just look and see what happened and, you know, solve the problem.
The closure comes after a 24-year-old man known only as Brother was shot and killed at the river on Saturday. But when the police started an investigation into that murder, it opened a can of worms.
What we found out is that there was an issue that took place in Little Dunn's River that resulted in the life of this man only known as Brother. We intensified the investigation as to why he would be killed, only to realize that Little Dunn's River, owned by UDC and that is regulated by the Parish Council, were actually run by some thugs.
The police said those criminals are from Steertown in St. Ann, one of the most crime-plagued areas in the parish. Head of the St. Ann Police Superintendent David White further explained why the property had to be closed.
We believe, based on intel, that there could be some reprisal, and the possibility exists that the reprisal would take place right in Little Dunn's River. The police fear that the reprisal taken by any crony resulting in this man's death may cause the life of even innocent person that is visiting the Little Dunn's River.
Even more intriguing, according to the police, is that the Urban Development Corporation has allowed people to set up permanent structures on the property, fueling the disorder. Now, an urgent appeal for the UDC to intervene.
They need to come in, take over their property, put some structure into the operations over there, and allow the facilities to run with law-abiding citizens.
It's not clear when the property will be reopened. And when we contacted the Urban Development Corporation this morning for a comment, we were told to send an email. An email was sent, but up to news time, we did not receive a response. Despite the challenges impacting the tourism sector over the last 2 years created by the COVID-19 pandemic, Jamaican resorts shone brightly at the World Travel Awards Caribbean and America ceremony. The details from O'Shane Masters.
The resilience of Jamaica's tourism sector was on show as several of the island's hoteliers, attraction operators, villas, and transportation companies received awards at the World Travel Awards Caribbean and America ceremony in Montego Bay Wednesday night. Among the winners were the Adam Stewart-led Sandals Resorts. But the country on a whole was recognized as Jamaica copped the awards for the Caribbean's leading destination, leading cruise destination, and leading tourist board. Donovan White is the director of tourism.
All the people who work for the tourist board, but I think more importantly, it's an honor for all the people that in Jamaica that we serve as partners for the tourism industry. And so for us to win this award tonight, again, for the 16th year consecutively, is a mammoth award, and we really are in all bites.
The operators of Isangse International Airport were also awarded the prize for leading airport in the Caribbean. This is the 15th consecutive win for MBJ Airports Limited. CEO of MBJ Airports Limited, Shane Monroe, says the win is a result of a combined effort between his team and the partners of the airport. He says the award is also a testament of the work which the management of the airport continues to put in to ensure a smoother flow for tourists arriving in the country. In the meantime, he notes that the airport's numbers so far are positive.
August, we are just 1% above 2019 numbers. So certainly the recovery is happening, speaks to the strength of brand Jamaica and the destination. And certainly we are doing our part to ensure the seat capacity is there and some exciting new opportunities and routes possibly coming into the country. So certainly speaks to recovery.
And with the winter tourist season on the horizon, Mr. White says things are already looking up.
The winter tourist season is absolutely pacing well ahead. We believe that we will, as Minister announced earlier tonight, we are probably going to exceed our 2019 levels of earnings, which was a record year by the end of this year, which means that we'll be well ahead of pace and we'll be just below visitor arrivals for 2019. So we're very confident that the things we're doing are working. The things the destination is doing and the partners in the destination is doing is working. People are seeing, hearing, believing, and they're returning to Jamaica.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Vendors in Maypen, Clarendon staged a peaceful protest Wednesday morning. Some of the vendors say there's not enough prime vending space in the market district for all of them. Prince Moore reports.
Vendors and the municipal authorities in Maypen, Clarendon are again at odds over where the group should sell their goods. The authorities contend that the vendors are selling in the streets of the market district and are interfering with the flow of traffic. But the vendors insist that's not the case.
And the persons have been working assiduously and adhering to the regulations and the rules. And now they are being asked to move to go to the market. Go to the market where?
The vendors also argued that the market district is bursting at the figurative seams, especially between Thursdays and Saturdays when dozens of other vendors descend on the area, joining those who are already there for the other days of the week.
When the country people them coming out, them going to tell you they want a spot, and we depend on cart, and we have to park in a them spot, and it's going to cause friction. Because we are going to fight because them going to come and want a spot, and we're not going to move. So let we know what we are going to do. We really want to know. Not for we are single parents. I'm a single parent. And all of we out here need space to go, if that's so be the case.
And with back-to-school shopping on the way, many of these vendors are eager to make some sales. So for them, any displacement at this time will be problematic.
Because you cannot have all doctors and you cannot have all lawyers. You have to have somebody to sell the ground provision. You have to have somebody to sell the school shoes. You have to have a variety, and that is the spice of life. All I am asking for is for an understanding.
The authorities at the Clarendon Municipal Corporation are therefore being asked to reconsider the area designated as vending spaces within the market district so that the figurative cat and mouse game with the police, municipal workers and the vendors can end.
The buyers are tired of it. It is really, really something that needs to be sorted out. And all I am asking for is for the persons to be allowed to carry out their trade in a way. We're not asking for Main Street. We're asking for the market district.
The issues were put to the chairman of the municipal corporation, Winston Maraj, who says a meeting will be held about the issue.
We arrived at an amicable solution, as far as I know. So I'm surprised now to hear that there's a demonstration going on. And I can't see what would have caused that. The decision that was taken at the meeting is that those people who were vending on the streets should have gone to the Commercial Services Department this morning and to let them arrange a spot for them within the market space. Because we do have vacant spots in the marketplace.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
Continuing the news now, the Brownstown High School continues to increase its production of desks and chairs to supply schools within Region 3. O'Shane Masters has more.
Sanding, wiping, and spraying. It's just a normal day for these individuals at the Brownstown High School in St. Anne. It forms part of the Education Minister's drive to have schools more engaged in the repair and manufacturing of desks and chairs to meet the demand for the new academic year. Principal Alfred Thomas says the school has for years been repairing their own desks and chairs through the Industrial Arts Department. He further noted that other institutions within Region 3, to include primary and high schools, would also have their desks repaired at the institution. It's why he says when they were approached by the Education Ministry some 2 years ago, it was a no-brainer to take on the task.
Our task at Brownstown High was to produce 1,250 sets of desks and chairs annually. We would have completed the first year of the MOU and we actually met our target, and so we're on the second year of the MOU.
With the increase in demand, production had to be ramped up. Damien Allen is one of the lead teachers of the project. He told us that within a month, his staff complement can complete 300 desks and chairs. That's based on normal working hours, but with classes just a few days away.
No, I have to be working day and night to produce the furniture for the orders that are coming in.
When asked about the possibility of the ministry ending the MOU with his institution, Mr. Thomas says that would not be an issue.
Even if the ministry ends the MOU with the manufacturing of furniture, based on the precedents that we would have set and the relationships that we would have built with some schools, there are schools that we know will be calling us every year to do repairs of their furniture. So even if we're not manufacturing, we will be repairing, and so the project will continue.
Now, while at the institution on Tuesday, we saw 2 trucks being loaded with the furniture to be distributed. We were told that those trucks were being deployed to schools within St. Anne and Trelawney. In the meantime, other institutions within Region 3 are slated to be on board in short order in the manufacturing and repairing of the resources. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minutes.
Wisynco Group has revealed plans to expand its beverage machinery. Chief Executive Officer Andrew Mafood announced that the expansion is estimated to cost almost 5 million Jamaican dollars. It's slated to begin in 2023 as the company plans to increase its capacity to meet the growing local and export markets. So far, the company has invested 604 million Jamaican dollars on deposits for new equipment. The Crossroads Tax Office in St. Andrew will remain closed for business until Friday, September 2. The closure is due to a malfunctioning air conditioning unit that's impacting the location. It is expected to reopen on Monday, September 5. And in business internationally, inflation in the European countries using the euro currency hit another record in August, fueled by soaring energy prices, mainly driven by Russia's war in Ukraine. Annual inflation in the Eurozone's 19 countries rose to 9.1%, up from 8.9% in July. Inflation is at the highest levels since record-keeping for the euro began in 1997. The latest figures add pressure on European central bank officials to continue raising interest rates, which can tame inflation but also stifle economic growth. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And it's now time for the top regional and international stories with Cody Ann Barrett.
In regional news, health officials say despite undertaking contact, they are still unable to discover how Guyana recorded 2 cases of monkeypox virus. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony says a 57-year-old public transportation driver and a woman in her 30s gave a list of persons who might have been exposed to the virus through contact with them. The 2 cases had no recent history of travel. The health minister is calling on the public to take precautions, including calling the monkeypox hotline if they have any concerns or questions. On the international scene, authorities in Saudi Arabia say 47 million amphetamine pills hidden in a floor shipment were seized at a warehouse after arriving through the dry port of the capital. 8 people were arrested on suspicion of smuggling the drugs. According to Saudi authorities, the operation is the biggest one-time drug smuggling attempt in terms of narcotics seized. The country's narcotics enforcement agency says it tracked the shipment and raided the warehouse, arresting 6 Syrian and 2 Pakistani nationals. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Cody Ann.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Kalisha Williams. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.